Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you guys are new, I usually make City of Heroes content and usually build videos or whatnot, or maybe even guides. Um, this video is going to be designed to talk about the Ignite Burn build that I've tried making. Um, so we'll see how well I can actually do this in this video. I didn't really have high hopes because unfortunately Ignite causes enemies to run away. So this is why this is really not attempted very often, or even probably ever, honestly. I don't exactly blame people for not wanting to do that. If you couldn't tell, this video is going to be a bit rambly. It's not scripted, so just stick with me, I guess. So as you could see in the first group that we actually went into contact with, I immediately got stunned, and that's going to be kind of an issue with this build. Is that survivability? It's actually not bad, or at least at +0 times 8 with bosses on. It's not that bad, but occasionally you will run into a boss that will stun you, and there really isn't anything you can do about it. You're not a scrapper, you're not a tanker, so you aren't going to have any mez protection. You can overcome it with inspirations, but I feel like I would just having to keep refreshing for mez protection every time I do a mission. It just doesn't feel like something I really want to do, right? So yeah, as you can see, I'm going from group to group, and I'm immediately going for the bosses. In groups that don't really have any bosses, I kind of just go over them a little bit, burn them a little bit, and then move on to the next one. I noticed with Ignite, it's a really good single target power. However, unlike Burn, it doesn't really have a large radius. So you're not going to be really hitting a lot of enemies, so it's best to be used on bosses. And so you're able to actually take down bosses really quickly with Ignite. As I'm sure you're seeing right now, like I'm taking these bosses down pretty quickly. And I should mention, I'm not using any incarnates in this video. I am using enhancement boosters on some of my powers, and I am using enhancement catalysts on all the sets that I have. And basically, in terms of IOs, I'm pretty geared out on that front. But I feel like I'd be doing substantially more if I actually had access to my incarnates, which unfortunately I don't think we have on the testing server, or at least we aren't able to just immediately unlock it, right? So one other thing is we don't have I don't know why, but like sniper rifle is bugged. I mentioned on Discord, and they did say that they are aware of it, and eventually they do want to fix it. But whenever they are able to fix that bug, this build should do substantially more single target damage. And I feel like people don't really run assault rifle very much, but maybe people might give it a chance after, because just look at it. It just kills things pretty fast, in my opinion. If you're wondering, you're looking at this and you're kind of wondering, how is it that enemies aren't running away? Well, the reason enemies aren't running away is because I'm using Hot Feet. And Hot Feet has slow on it, which, I have a slow enhancement set on it, which is from Rebirth. Like they made a new set on Rebirth for slow, part of the winter set. Forgot what it's called. It doesn't matter anyway. So yeah, Hot Feet is it has slow enhanced onto it, and it also inherently slows, of course. So that's what's keeping the enemies around, and that's how the Ignite is actually able to trap the enemy in it, or at least somewhat, because when they do run away, they are still caught up in the Ignite for a decent amount of time, right? You know, at least 5 seconds, and even more if my procs go off, which I have two procs on my Ignite. I have Immobilize and I have Knockdown, right? Because I have the Ragnarok set in it. What else? What else? Damn, I was gonna say something, I just forgot. So yeah, just finishing up these two guys right here, or the one boss right there. So in the last video, you'll probably have noticed all the caveats in the description. I was able to overcome a little bit of it by, like, for one, I wasn't able to use build-ups, right? And, well, I was able to use build-ups, but I just wasn't really using them. I don't know, I just have a habit of never really using build-ups. I don't know why. I'm just kind of lazy, I guess. But in this video, I do properly use them, and I definitely think it makes a difference. Every fight I go to seems to recharge the build-up, so I'm not really quite sure what that means, if this is fast or not. It certainly will be faster, again, if I had incarnates. You know, the interface, the alpha slot, and the hybrid all definitely make a difference. So again, that was one of the caveats I mentioned in that video, or yeah, in the description of that video. What else did I mention in that video? I mentioned, I already mentioned that you could get stunned, and that can decrease your survivability. The previous video was more like a first draft. I just did want to mention that, and I'll probably be unlisting that video just because of that. And I'll probably put it in this, you know, description if you really want to look at that. Maybe I'll even include the link in the description for this build. There's not really much to go over with the build. It really is just, you know, click 3 buttons and follow enemies around. It's a very simple playstyle, right? Oh, keep in mind, by the way, there is a macro with this build. It's in that description if you want to use it. I think Punch Bag on the Rebirth Discord shared that. I notice it sometimes does get stuck for whatever reason. And so, like, it won't cast the Ignite, and I'll just have to manually click on the Ignite itself, right? So there is that, you know, you do have to keep that in mind, and that will slow you down. What else? What else? Oh, right here, yeah. So I got stunned right there. Again, you know, you just have to keep that in mind, you know. You are a blaster at the end of the day. Maybe there's an incarnate that can overcome that. I haven't really looked into it. But definitely, you know, if you really want to, like, I think the only option you have is inspirations. I know there is that that one enhancement that has the status protection, but I'm not quite sure if that applies to stun, and even if it did, I think it only gives, like, protection 1, so it's not very good, right? I'm not really clearing the whole map. As I mentioned earlier, I'm only going from boss to boss. But you know, like you do have to keep in time, you have to keep in mind, right? That you have to keep efficiency in mind. You don't want to be just going around the map only for a few enemies when you could just be going around the map, getting as much as you need in a short amount of time, and just starting the next mission, you know, resetting. So there is that to keep in mind. A few things you'll see probably in the bottom right corner is you'll probably notice that I have full auto, and I also have buckshot. I never really considered using either of these because full auto's animation is longer than flamethrower, and flamethrower for like the DPA is actually higher. So I didn't really find there was any point in using that over full auto. And full auto, I think full auto takes like what 4 seconds, 3 seconds, whereas you know I'm already using a high animation, you know, a long animation, my bad, power in Ignite. It takes 4 seconds for that. So I don't want to be like, you know, I don't want to cast that and then, you know, you cast your burn and then you cast full auto. And not only does it do less damage than Flamethrower, but it also has a longer animation, you know. And Buckshot, it knocks back, so I don't really want to use that. You know, I try to limit the amount of knockback as you can, right? So I had originally intended to use Sniper in this build before, you know, I figured out, oh, it's bugged. The animation plays the whole thing as opposed to it just being an insta-snipe. But yeah, you know. I think I'm winding down with this mission, it looks like. Sort of approaching the end. You could see even on the map, like I've kind of gone around and killed things and whatnot. Um, oh, you'll probably also notice that my endurance, because I haven't really mentioned this so far, my endurance hasn't really gone down, right? This whole video, you'll probably notice, like it's basically remained full, and I don't even need consume or anything like that, right? And you know, I think that's also one thing you do need to keep in mind whenever you're farming is your endurance. You know, you don't want to be wasting time try getting that back up. You just need to be as efficient as you can. And what really helps with that is what's it called? I was about to say combustion aura. No, I think it's cauterize aura. I think that's what it's called. Um, it plays the combustion animation, I think. Well, the fire anyway. So that's probably why I was thinking that. But yeah, but cauterize aura has it heals you. It does damage. It doesn't cost any endurance. It gives you end mod, end modification. Um, so you know it is really nice to have that in conjunction with stamina and miracle plus recovery and Numina's convalescence plus regen plus recovery. Oh, and also the panacea with the healing and the plus end. Performance shifter does help too. Keep all that in mind. But yeah, we're basically done with this video. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is.